My name is Michael, and for 7 years, I thought I was living the perfect love story. I'm 35, an IT entrepreneur who built 3 successful startups from scratch. But success meant nothing compared to the way Jessica used to look at me. In our early days, she would trace my face with her fingers and whisper, "You're my quiet storm, Michael. You change everything without making noise." Those words kept me warm during countless sleepless nights building my companies. I never bragged about my achievements. While other men flashed expensive watches and sports cars, I chose simplicity. Jessica once told me that my humble nature was what made her fall in love. "You're not like other successful men," she said during our 3rd anniversary dinner. "You have this beautiful soul that money can't touch." I believed every word. What she didn't tell me was that her admiration had slowly turned into embarrassment. For 3 years, I had been Jessica's family's silent guardian angel. When Robert faced foreclosure, I stepped in without hesitation. When Linda was diagnosed with her condition and couldn't afford treatment, I made sure she got the best care money could buy. David's failing restaurant, Rachel's custody battle expenses, I covered it all. Each transfer felt like an investment in our family's happiness. Jessica knew everything but crafted an elaborate story about her incredible bank promotions to explain the sudden wealth. The most heartbreaking part? I genuinely loved playing this invisible hero role. Every time I saw Linda's grateful tears during her recovery, or watched Robert's relief when his home was saved, I felt fulfilled. I thought I was building something beautiful, a family bound by love, not obligation. The annual family barbecue was supposed to be our celebration. As we pulled into Robert's driveway, I noticed Jessica checking her makeup in the mirror. "Just be yourself, honey," she said, but something in her voice felt different. Distant, almost rehearsed. I squeezed her hand, remembering how we used to arrive at family gatherings as a team. This time felt like I was walking into enemy territory alone. The backyard was a showcase of my invisible generosity. Robert proudly showed off his new grill to the neighbors, the same grill I had researched and purchased after his old one broke. Linda sparkled in her new jewelry, telling everyone about Jessica's incredible success that made such luxuries possible. David pulled up in his restored vintage car, the same car he had begged me to help him buy just 6 months earlier, promising he'd pay me back as soon as business picked up. The bitter irony wasn't lost on me. Here I was, surrounded by the fruits of my labor, being treated like an outsider at my own generosity's celebration. But what hurt most was watching Jessica beam with pride as her family praised her for achievements that were actually mine. She had become so comfortable living this lie that she seemed to believe it herself. The attack began subtly, like poison slowly entering my bloodstream. Robert started his performance while flipping steaks, his voice carrying across the yard. "You know what I respect about a man? Ambition. Drive. Like Jessica's friend's husband. Now that guy just bought a mansion in the hills. That's what I call taking care of your woman." His eyes found mine with surgical precision. "Not everyone can be a provider, I guess." Linda joined the chorus with practiced cruelty. "Oh, Robert, don't be so hard on poor Michael. Not every man can be successful." She turned to her bridge club friends with mock sympathy. "We just keep hoping he'll find his way eventually. Jessica deserves so much better, but love makes us blind sometimes, doesn't it?" Then David delivered the killing blow. Standing near the grill with a beer I had paid for, wearing clothes funded by my accounts, he addressed the entire party. "Michael, buddy, I've got to ask, what's your 5-year plan? Because honestly, watching my sister struggle financially while you just exist, it's hard to watch." The yard fell completely silent. 20 pairs of eyes turned to me, waiting for my response like spectators at a public execution. I felt my chest tighten, my hands trembling slightly as I reached for Jessica's arm, desperately seeking an ally in this nightmare. But when I looked into her eyes, I saw something that will haunt me forever. Embarrassment. She was ashamed of me. What happened next broke something inside me that I didn't even know could be broken. Jessica laughed. Not the nervous giggle of someone caught in an uncomfortable situation, but a genuine, delighted laugh that joined the chorus of mockery. "Oh God, you guys are awful," she said, but her tone carried pure amusement. But seriously, sometimes I wonder too. Then came the stories. Our most private, vulnerable moments weaponized for entertainment. Remember when Michael tried to be all handy and fix our sink? He flooded the entire kitchen and had to call my dad to save us. The crowd roared with laughter. Or that time he got so nervous about my office Christmas party that he got lost for 2 hours and showed up during dessert with his shirt inside out. Each revelation felt like a physical assault. These weren't just embarrassing stories. They were moments when I had tried to step outside my comfort zone for her, moments when I had been vulnerable and human. The woman who had once kissed those insecurities away was now using them as ammunition to entertain people who despised me. But the final blow came when she looked directly at me while the laughter died down. "I love Michael, I really do," she said with the tone someone uses when discussing a beloved but disappointing pet. "He has such a good heart. He's just not the man I thought I'd end up with, you know." The pity in her voice was worse than all the mockery combined. In that moment, I realized that the woman I loved had been gone for a long time, and I had been living with a stranger who wore her face. I stood up with the strange calmness that comes in moments of complete devastation. My legs felt like they belonged to someone else as I walked toward the house. "Just getting another drink," I murmured to no one in particular. Nobody looked up. Nobody paused their conversation. I was invisible even in my own humiliation. But instead of heading to the kitchen, I walked straight through the house, each step feeling like I was shedding pieces of my old life. As I reached for the front door handle, I heard Jessica's voice carrying from the backyard. "He's probably sulking now. He gets like this when people tell the truth about his limitations." More laughter followed her words. That night, from my hotel room, I made the 3 most important phone calls of my life. My hands were steady now, my voice clear. First, my lawyer. "I want to discuss separation proceedings." "Yes, it's urgent." Second, my accountant. "Freeze all transfers to the following accounts immediately. Every single one." Third, my assistant. "Book me on the first flight to our Seattle office. I'll be relocating indefinitely." As dawn broke over the city, I was already at 30,000 feet, watching my old life disappear beneath the clouds. I left behind only a simple note on our kitchen counter. "The quiet storm has moved on. Now let's see who weathers what's coming next." For the first time in years, I felt like myself again, not the diminished version they had tried to make me become. I stood up with the strange calmness that comes in moments of complete devastation. My legs felt like they belonged to someone else as I walked toward the house. "Just getting another drink," I murmured to no one in particular. Nobody looked up. Nobody paused their conversation. I was invisible even in my own humiliation. But instead of heading to the kitchen, I walked straight through the house, each step feeling like I was shedding pieces of my old life. As I reached for the front door handle, I heard Jessica's voice carrying from the backyard. "He's probably sulking now. He gets like this when people tell the truth about his limitations." More laughter followed her words. That night, from my hotel room, I made the 3 most important phone calls of my life. My hands were steady now, my voice clear. First, my lawyer. "I want to discuss separation proceedings." "Yes, it's urgent." Second, my accountant. "Freeze all transfers to the following accounts immediately. Every single one." Third, my assistant. "Book me on the first flight to our Seattle office. I'll be relocating indefinitely." As dawn broke over the city, I was already at 30,000 feet, watching my old life disappear beneath the clouds. I left behind only a simple note on our kitchen counter. "The quiet storm has moved on. Now let's see who weathers what's coming next." For the first time in years, I felt like myself again, not the diminished version they had tried to make me become. Part 6. The collapse. The collapse began exactly 14 days later. "I know because I was counting." Robert called first, his voice stripped of its usual arrogance. "Michael, there's been some mistake with the mortgage payment. The bank is threatening foreclosure. Jessica said you handle the finances." The confusion in his voice was almost comical. For 3 years, he had accepted money without questioning its source, and now reality was demanding answers. Linda's call came next, tears choking her words. My medical insurance has lapsed, sweetheart. They're saying I owe thousands for my treatments. I don't understand. Jessica said everything was covered through her work. The endearment, sweetheart, felt hollow now, a desperate attempt to reclaim a relationship she had helped destroy. David's text was the most pathetic. Bro, my business loan payment bounced. The bank is asking questions. Also, some scary guys came by asking about my other debts. Please call me back. Please. The same man who had questioned my manhood was now begging for salvation from the failure he had publicly mocked. Rachel's voicemail broke my heart the most. Michael, I don't know what's happening, but the daycare called about unpaid fees. My kids are asking why they can't go back to their friends. I know we haven't always appreciated you, but please, they're just children. Her kids had always run to me at family gatherings, seeing me as the fun uncle who never forgot their birthdays. Now they were paying for their mother's cruelty. Jessica's call came last, and it was the call I had been dreading most. Her voice was raw from crying. Michael, please come home. I don't understand what's happening. Everyone is calling me, blaming me, asking for money I don't have. The house feels empty without you. I know I messed up at the barbecue, but it was just joking around. You know I didn't mean it, right? Right. But her words felt like echoes from another life. The woman who had once been my everything had revealed who she truly was when she thought it didn't matter. Sometimes the most devastating betrayals come not from strangers, but from the people who know exactly where to strike to cause the most damage. I had been their invisible foundation, and now they were learning what happens when the ground beneath your feet simply disappears.